What is good, people? We are back, and today we're doing John chapter 15. Now, I did the math. I realized I am far behind where I want to be. Specifically, I'm actually supposed to be on John chapter 19, and I'm on John 15. So, you know what? If you see this shirt a lot, don't think that I'm like a weirdo who's just wearing the same shirt over and over and over again, and like I never shower and whatnot. I promise you, I'm not disgusting like that. Despite what the acne says, shoot, I might just sit down and film like 4 or 5 of these. Anyways, back to the point, back to John 15, because that's what we're on now. Let's go. Jesus, the true vine. I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that does not produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is not served from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me. Yes, I am the vine, you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. For apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. When you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples. This brings great glory to my Father. I've loved I have loved you even as the Father has loved me. Remain in my love. When you obey my commandments, you remain in my love just as I obey my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I have told you these things so that you will be filled with my joy. Yes, your joy will overflow. This is my commandment. Love each other in the same way I have loved you. There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends. If you do what I command, I no longer call you slaves, but because a master does not confide in his slaves. Now you are my friends, since I have told you everything the Father told me. You didn't choose me, I chose you. I appointed you to go and produce lasting fruit so that the Father will give you whatever you ask for using my name. This is my command. Love each other. Now we move on to the world's hatred. If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. The world would love you as one of its own if you belong to it, but you are no longer part of the world. I choose you to come out of the world, so it hates you. Do you remember what I told you? A slave is not greater than the master. Since they persecuted me, naturally they will persecute you. And if they had listened to me, they would listen to you too. They will do all of this to you because of me, for they have rejected the one who sent me. They would not be guilty if I had not come and spoken to them, but now they have no excuse for their sin. Anyone who hates me also hates my Father. If I hadn't done such miraculous signs among them that no one else could do, they would not be guilty. But as it is, they have seen everything I did, yet they still hate me and my Father. This fulfills what is written in the scriptures. They hated me without cause, but I will send you the advocate, the Spirit of truth. He will come to you from the Father and will testify all about me. And you must also testify about me because you have been with me from the beginning of my ministry. And that is it for John chapter 15. So let's talk about it. I want to talk about verse 13 here. Verse 13 says, There's no greater love than to lay down one's life for one's friends. Now, obviously, as we are all aware, Jesus laid down his life for all of us, but I highly doubt that many of you out there have people in your life that that you would die for. I really do. I really doubt it. And if you do, you know what? Hey, that's great for you. It's really easy to say that you would, and it's really easy to think that you would. But to be put in that situation and to actually go through with it is another thing. There's a reason we give such high praise to veterans and especially fallen soldiers because they had the guts to do what the overwhelming majority of us would never put their life on the line for something greater than themselves. But yet, many of us would never even come close to something like that. I think that shows just unloving we are as a society nowadays, that it's rare to find people who would lay down their life for others. It used to be a great honor and still is a great honor, but people don't want to do it. They're so selfish. They're so full of themselves that the idea that there is someone else out there who is worth dying for, who's worth giving up their physical life for, is just ridiculous to them. You know what I find really funny? The only people who I've ever met that are willing to die for anyone at all is suicidal people. And they're not willing to die for people because they truly love them. They're willing to die for people because they just want to die. And you know what? If, hey, at the very least, if they get to go out with some nobility and dignity, you might as well, you know? But honestly, nowadays we live in a world that is so far separated from the love of God that I see parents who wouldn't lay down their lives for their children. To be honest, it's, in my opinion, it's the majority. I don't want to say the majority. It's a great number of parents that I see nowadays do not love their children more than themselves to the point to where they would lay down their life for their child. We are so selfish as a society and as a culture that parents would not lay down their lives for their children. I don't think my parents would lay down their lives for me. It's just the truth. I don't. And like I said, I don't know a lot of parents who I genuinely believe would lay down their lives for their children. It, it's horrible. That's a horrible thing. I'm saying all this to get to this point. We as a society have become so selfish and so self-centered and so self-absorbed that we cannot truly serve a greater purpose than ourselves. This has been a very weird thing for me growing up because I am a type of person, I don't care about me, I don't care about my life really hardly at all. And that's been both a blessing and a curse. The blessing side of it has been that I've always sought out a purpose in life that is of service to others. That I have always tried to find a greater purpose, something that is bigger than me to dedicate my life to. At one point, I was like, oh, maybe I'll just go join the military. You know, that's the easy, obvious answer. Turns out I have asthma and can't exactly join the military if you guys have asthma unless you get a doctor to clear you for it. Also, not to make this political, but you know what? It's on my mind and it's what I believe, so I'm gonna say it because it's my, I turned 18 last October. Since I've turned 18, our government has not exactly done a lot of things with our military that I consider to be worth putting my life on the line for. Just a hot take. So I'm okay. Respectfully, I'm out on that one. We've been fighting wars in the Middle East since before I was born. And just when we all thought it was over, turns out it wasn't. So I'm out. I'm good. This is not a cause I'm dying for. I don't think that's what God has in mind for me. But yeah, I've been searching. I was searching for that for a while. And so many people for so long thought it was weird, thought there was something wrong with me, thought that I was this like weird, disgusting, like, what the heck is going on with that guy? He wants to find a purpose greater than himself to live for. This is reflected in just like really what I want out of life. Like I have always and still to this day want to be a father. I want nothing more but than to have children, right? And I remember telling people that and they're like in this world, in this day and age, this is like you want to have kids? Like, why would you wanna do that? Like, why are you even thinking about having kids? Why is that even a topic of conversation on your mind, bro? Like, you're 18 years old, like, go live your life. Like, yeah, maybe one day when you're, like, 30, you can come back around and you can discuss the idea, but, like, what are you doing, man? Like, you don't want a career? You don't wanna I was like, "No." And, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with people out there. Maybe that's where the Lord is calling you. The Lord is calling you to have a career. I'm not saying that every single person who walks on planet Earth is mandated to pump out some children, especially because I know that there's some people that that's not what God has in mind for their life. For me, I feel like that is what God has in mind for my life. And I'm not going to, you know what? I'm not going to budge on that fact, regardless of what you tell me. But just always like I always wanted to be a father for the sake of being a part of the growth of someone else, which I feel like is how I ended up here. There's no greater joy I've ever felt in my life than watching other people come closer to God. Fun fact. I think I've talked about this before, being at church camp, and I'm not a very tearful man. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with men who do cry. You know what? If that's your thing, brother. If that's how the Lord calls you to express emotion, then go right ahead. But I remember tears forming in my eyes at the sight of seeing people walking, to go speak to their youth leaders and to go speak to pastors and whatnot, during the altar call, during when they're calling people, anyone who wants to put their faith and their trust in Jesus Christ right now. It's very powerful. But we live in a world now where just being happy for someone else is like, what are you doing, bro? That's not your life. What are you happy about? Mhm. And like I'm saying, so with this whole thing, like if you're out here and the Lord has called you to live life for your career and for whatnot, like I'm not sitting here and I'm saying you're the devil and you're awful and whatnot, but like we live in a very actually I don't even want to say selfish because selfish sounds harsh and selfish sounds like I know a lot of people one person, I'm not gonna name who, comes particular in mind, who's not selfish. Like they're not selfish at all. They're not out here like taking things for themselves and making everything about them in every moment of every day and if everything has to be about them and whatnot. Actually, is quite the opposite. But I know a lot of people who just live life for themselves. Like I said, if the Lord is calling you to pursue a career and whatnot, listen, I'm putting this out here right here and now. If you are 100% confident that the direction you are going in life and the path that you are following is what the Lord has intended for you, go ahead, completely agree with it, got no problems with it. I'm talking about people who are avoiding what God is calling to them because it doesn't align with what they want. Now, back to the point. I know so many people like I said, specifically that one person comes in mind to where like everything is just they only allow things in their life that serve them. They only take time out of their day for things that, are for them. And they look at me sideways and like I'm weird and like there's something wrong with me because I want to spend the majority of my day serving others. I want to be out here for other people. Like, guys, my whole life, whether want it to be or not at this point, is about service to others. I work 40, 45 hours a week in the food service industry. Yeah, I know. You're sitting here, you're saying, man, this kid isn't suicidal. It's by the power of God. I don't believe me. If I didn't have the Lord, I don't know how I wouldn't be because it sucks. Nah, I'm kidding. Actually, I enjoy my job. It's pretty nice. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm doing this. I'm out here and I'm talking to the people. I'm sharing my thoughts and what the Lord has, placed on my mind for the people. And when I'm not doing one of those two things, I'm just kind of sitting. I will say I probably do go too far in the other direction. The point is, we as a society have come way too far in the direction of everything has to be about you. Live your life for the Lord and for the Lord's purpose. I know some of you, not only would you not lay your life down for a friend, you would not lay your life down if God called you to. If the Lord came before you and said, give up your life on earth now in honor of me, you wouldn't do it. If someone put a gun to your head and said, denounce Christ or I'm going to blow your brains out, you would denounce him because that's how important your life is to you. That's how important you are to you. I mean, heck, we got Daniel in the lion's den. They told him to stop praying, just like knock it off. Otherwise, we're going to throw you in this lion's den. And guess what? Where was bro at? And what did he keep doing? Because I guarantee you, if I remember the story right, he surely ain't stopped praying. Some of y'all are not willing to lay your lives down for the greatest of all causes. It's truly saddening to my heart to see just how selfish, how self-absorbed, and how self-centered this world has become. Please, please cry out to God and find a purpose that is greater than yourself because you need it. Now, let's move on to the world's hatred. I want to talk about verse 18 because this is another very famous. John has a lot of very famous verses, but John 15:18 is a very famous verse that gets quoted a lot. And you know what? We're going to talk about it. It says, if the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. If the world hates you, remember that it hated me first. Now, as Christians, why is this important to keep in mind? It's because, let's be honest, when people are being hateful and angry and antagonistic towards us, what do, people? Come on. What do, people out there? We take it personally. We get really personal about it. We get really offended. We get extremely upset about it. And Jesus is saying, whoa, 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 whoa. Just slow down. Slow down, brother. This isn't about you. This this is not about you. Remember, they hated me first. Let's take a breath. Now, I've talked about the keeping in mind when we're evangelizing that if people are being hateful towards you, and when you're speaking about your faith or really carrying yourself through life as someone who follows Christ, when people are hating on you, to keep in mind that they hated Jesus first and it's the natural reaction of the world, right? I've talked about that before. So today we're going to make a different point. I want to talk about how we as people cause so many more problems by taking hatred personally and how we react to being hated. You ever heard I forget what the actual saying is, but it's something like one bad apple ruins the whole tree or something like that. One bad banana ruins the whole batch, something like that. One bad fruit of some kind ruins the whole batch or something, some kind. I don't know. I'm not like 285 years old. I didn't serve in World War II. I'm not old enough to know these phrases, even though according to my coworkers, I look like it. But anyways, it really is like that's how the world works. Like one person gets mad at one other person, who gets mad at one other person, who gets mad at another person, who gets mad at, and there's this cascading effect of now everybody's mad, everybody's having a bad day. I will say it's a very interesting thing to witness in my own household just how quickly a great day for everyone can become a bad day for everyone because one person has one bad experience at some point, right? This is how hatred spreads. Everybody's having a great day. Then sister goes off to dance class. She has a bad time at dance class. Now she's being rude to mom. The mom's mad at everyone. And now everyone's mad at everyone. Everyone's having a great day. Then brother goes off to work, comes back from work. Work's not great. He comes home. He's mad at everyone. And now everyone's mad. We're all having a great, fine, dandy day. Something happens to dad. Dad comes home. Dad's mad. Now everyone's mad. Does this sound common to anyone else? Because these are real situations that have really happened that I have seen several times. This is how hatred spreads because everybody takes everything so personally and they get so personally attacked whenever anyone says anything. Sometimes people are just upset and it isn't about you. This goes back to my point from earlier of everyone's so selfish and self-centered that you believe everyone's emotions that they feel all the time are directed towards you. It ain't about you. Does it suck having to deal with someone who's upset and angry because of a situation you weren't involved in? Yeah. But it should not affect you and your mindset and your day because someone is mad about something that has nothing to do with you. I personally am not going to allow myself to be bogged down by the fact that you had a bad, client call. Respectfully, that has nothing to do with me. That's not about me. If you feel like talking to me about it and you want to go right ahead. I'm not going to let it upset me or ruin my day. I don't care. But also, if you're out there and you're getting hated on or whatnot and you're having a bad day for whatever reason, why do you feel the need to just be rude and nasty and disgusting to everyone else around you for the rest of the day? Why the heck am I in trouble because my sister made my mom mad? The heck does that got to do with me? I didn't do anything. I'm just here. But because I'm here, now all of a sudden, I'm part of the problem. Now, you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this is all great, valid, incredible points. What in the heck does this have to do with John 15:18? When we read the Bible and we see people being angry and short tempered and rude to Jesus, how does he react? How does he react? Because it's not how we react. It isn't. It's not how we react. Jesus was slow to anger. That's not to say Jesus was never angry. When there was a reason to be angry, Jesus was angry. I mean, the man was flipping tables. He had a whip at one point. He was like, but he was slow to anger. And he did not get personally attacked by every single word that everyone ever said to him, even when they were personally attacking him. You got to understand, people. Man, nothing will ever make less sense to me than people who understand the complexities of their own emotions and their own mind and their own thought processes, who cannot even come to the conclusion that they're not the only person on planet Earth who functions that way. Hey, brother, like, if you got a lot going on, I want you to sit there and think that maybe it's no different for everyone else. So when someone snaps at you and breaks at you, you don't have to sit here and act like it's a personal attack on you and like you are being treated as less of a human being because they finally reached their breaking point and you just happen to be there. So this is all pointing to how we react to hatred, but it relates to the verse because I'm saying that it's not about you. Jesus, obviously, in this verse is saying, like, hey, don't take it personally when people are hating on you because they're hating on you because you're with me and you're in me and they hate me. It's not about you, it's about me. You're just a vessel for this battle between, what is right and what is wrong. You and the person you're talking to are just vessels for it. Okay. That's what this verse is talking about, right? But right now, I want to talk about us and how we react to it. That's what I've been talking about because that's part of that battle as well. See, I'm trying to explain how I'm connecting the dots here because my ADHD brain is like flying through things. I'm trying to break it down and explain it, people. Like I said, simple timeline. Whenever someone's hating on us, right, for Christ related things, they're not hating on us, they're hating on Christ. Don't take it personally. Whenever people are hating on us, we take it super personally, regardless of what the context is. Don't react to hatred by taking it personally. See, that's the correlate, it's the connection there. We'll say. And here's why this is so effective. This will point people to Christ. This will change your relationship dynamic with someone. This will truly, genuinely improve your life in a way that nothing ever has. When someone is angry and short tempered with you, react with love and kindness. Do you know why? Because I want you to sit down and think about it. Me personally, the only times I ever remember being angry at someone is when they react with love and kindness because it makes me feel terrible, makes me feel like a piece of crap, makes me genuinely sit down and think and reflect on my life and be like, why the heck was I being angry and short tempered with this person who was being so kind and so loving to me? Then all of a sudden, if that's the reaction we start to give to people who are being angry and short tempered with us, all of a sudden you're going to see a lot of that anger and short temperedness that people have towards you fade away. Because over time, you're going to go from someone who, for whatever reason, because you're a follower of Christ, because you got there at the wrong moment, wrong place, wrong time. You said the wrong thing. You did the wrong thing. Like you could have done something or said something to personally upset them. You're going to see someone try to fight that urge and try to not be angry, try to not be upset with you because they don't want to, because they know how you react and they don't want to feel that way. They don't want to feel condemned in that way for their anger. So I'm telling you, this is like I said, the whole long point has been control how you react to anger because you can stop hatred in its tracks if you react to hatred with love. If you stop taking things personally, not everything is about you. Not everything is a personal attack on you. Like I said, you could just be wrong place, wrong time. You could be talking to a man whose marriage is on the brink of collapse and he's had enough and he can't take it anymore and he just explodes at you because you're the cashier standing behind the register and he doesn't feel like paying $8 for milk and that's the final straw. That's it. Like he can't take life anymore and you're just there. But if you just nod and smile along and you're like, I'm sorry to hear that, man. All of a sudden, he's deflated because at the end of the day, he was never mad at you. It was never about you. It has nothing to do with you. So, you know what? If you want to take away just one central point from John chapter 15, it's think less of yourself and more of others for two reasons. Number one, do not be so selfish and so self-centered that you're not willing to make sacrifices in your life and up to giving up your life for something or someone that is greater than yourself. And number two, don't be so self-centered and so self-focused that you think everything that everyone ever says is a personal attack on you. A lot of things have nothing to do with you. Be less self-centered as a human being, because that is what Jesus is calling you to do for many different reasons. And on that note, let's pray. Dear Lord, I want to come to you today, and I want to thank you, Lord, for giving us opportunities of having people who are being hateful towards us. You know, giving us opportunities to be kind and to be loving and to react to hatred in a manner that is honoring to you, Lord. God, I pray for all those out there who are self-centered, self-focused, and self-absorbed, that they would start to think about the world outside of themselves, whether that be in the context of the second section of our reading here, where they don't take things so personally, they don't take attacks so personally, and they don't react to people's anger and hatred in such a personal manner that it causes them to explode and allows them to react in a God honoring way. But also in the context of that first section there as well, that they would be willing to, at the very least, think of, if not serve and honor, a purpose greater than themselves, Lord. And in your name I pray, God. Amen. Thank you all for your time.